Hi, this is Chuck Williams, and I'm proud to introduce my good friend Mike Mucci. I've been working with Mike for a long time, as many of you know, and he is really creating something very special here for Sherlock affiliates. And he's using it for himself to build his own Sherlock business. I'm using it to build my Sherlock business, and my top leaders are using it to build their business. I was on a Google Hangout today for Fraser Brooks over in the UK, and he's actually teaching some of the same things that we're teaching. Accountability and activity tracking. But I'm telling you, what Mike is teaching you will absolutely help you build a sustainable business if you'll apply it like a business owner. So Mike, I know tonight's going to be a rather abbreviated session, but you wanted to give us some input into what you're working on and didn't want to wait till next Thursday to show us some things. So take it away, my friend. Show us what you've got so far.
Okay, Chuck, very good. Remember, if one of the things here, I don't know if anybody caught this because I didn't really stop, but let's look at the 3 critical strategies, okay, real quick, that we're going to be focusing on. And as Chuck said, these aren't new, but they're fundamental strategies needed in any kind of business for lead generation, okay? We'll have an irresistible offer. People need to know what's in it for them. And we got to get that message out to them in 5 seconds or less. Okay? What's in it for them? It's not about what the product does. It's not about what the service does. Okay? So the other thing is having a targeted list of like-minded connections that can easily be generated using zero-cost strategies. Okay, we're gonna teach people how to get a targeted list and why it's important. And I think this is the most important thing. Number 3, why prospects and buyers should choose you versus every other available option to them. You got to be able to answer that question. Can anybody write in the chat box right now how you're going to answer that question? What's going to differentiate you from the competition? Let's take a minute, Chuck, and have people write what they think the answer is to that in the chat box.
Very good. You can do it in the chat box or in the question area, whichever is easiest for you if you're having trouble finding the chat box. Mike, on a different subject, going back to how we're going to use this system, Anne Marie asked, will the sender, her in this case, ever talk to the prospect to create a fuzzy relationship feeling, or the only real conversation is with me, Chuck, and the prospect?
The answer to that question is yes. She will be doing a preliminary interview with the prospect to get them to attend the webinar. Okay, that's the first part, and that'll be the 4 questions that we always use right there. There won't be any selling, explaining. It'll just be getting people to the webinar. Okay, this is an educational tool. Now, after the webinar, if somebody raises their hand and says, yes, I would like to interview with Chuck Williams for a position, Anne Marie will be part of the interview process with Chuck, going through that interview process, and then she will facilitate the regular steps in the Sherlock Nation of the Team of Hope steps. Did I explain that okay, Chuck?
Yeah, you sure did.
Okay.
Anne Marie is saying what differentiates her from the rest is her focus on what the prospect needs.
Okay, anybody else right in there what it is?
Pam Benjamin wrote, because your success will be my top priority.
Okay, next.
So far, those are the only 2 that I've seen.
Okay, let's stop right there.
Ann Lear just wrote, finding out, oh, I'm sorry, you want me to stop?
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Anne Marie wrote, finding out their why and what they want to accomplish.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad to hear that, but I need to make this clearer. Okay, That's why I asked. Okay. Why the prospect should choose you versus every other available option to them. You have to be able to answer that question. And the answer to that question is going to be this. You're going to be able to demonstrate to them how to sustain success, generate a monthly income quickly, and prosper. Stay involved in a business long term, because you are going to be able to show them a lead generation system that they just went through and experienced and utilize under your direction, and in turn they're going to be able to use Chuck Williams as well. That's what's going to differentiate you. You know, every company says, you know, well, you can come to a, you know, an online meeting or whatever and whatever and whatever. What we're showing people is the basic, raw, necessary knowledge of having the correct lead generation system, so prospects know exactly what to do every minute they spend time on their business. Chuck, can you add to that?
Yeah, I think it might be time to tell them the secret that you and I have been kind of holding back a little bit on them. But one of the things that Mike has agreed to do for those of you students that have plugged in to this course and this class right now is he's going to make it so attractive to you to build your business long term that it's going to knock your socks off. Those of you that are in the program right now, he's going to allow you to offer this training that we're providing and our system to your prospects at zero cost. And that is a benefit to you for stepping up and taking this course, and that's going to help you build your sustainable business. So when you're talking about what do you have that no one else has, it's going to be real simple for you to quantify that very quickly. You basically can demonstrate how to create a sustainable business, create a monthly income residual that's sustainable because you have a lead generation system that you just experienced, the prospect just experienced, and they can use it too. And because you paid for it, and because you're introducing them to Mike and to myself, Chuck Williams, there will be no cost for them to use it, which will help you sustain your business. That is powerful, Mike, and I'm so glad that you've decided to do that to honor and reward these students. That is exciting.
Yeah, Chuck, I just want to think that I think the biggest thing is that not only do they get the lead system, but they're also going to get your undivided attention, okay? And I think the other part about it, as everybody does this, if you can just think of this educational piece as something separate from the Sherlock Nation products and services, okay? You're trying to educate people. You're trying to build up your credibility. You're trying to demonstrate, you know, what's in it for them. They're important, and that you have something that any kind of a home-based business or small business person could use to basically sustain success. Because once we get the 4 people in place, we don't want to lose any of those 4 people. None of them. So we talked about this before. What's going to happen when you get 4 people in your business? Where is your interest and direction going to turn to? Think about that question for a minute. Think about it. And I didn't say stop recruiting, because you're going to be helping those 4 people recruit. You're going to be helping teach those 4 people exactly what you did here. That's where duplication comes in. So I want everybody to grasp that. You know, why prospects should choose you versus every other available option to them. Plug and play. Follow the same steps you went in, and I'm going to help you with that. And you're going to have access to Chuck Williams, because Chuck Williams is the president of Progressive Insurance. You're underneath him. You're vice president, regional vice president. Underneath you are going to be what? District managers. You're still in the tree with Chuck Williams. You're going to become leaders. You see what I'm saying? Does everybody, I'm trying to get you to relate it to a real business model. How many of you have had people come into the business that haven't been able to do the same thing 3 days in a row? Because they're searching for ways to make it work. This eliminates that. Okay? That's all I have, Chuck, for tonight. Is there any questions?
No, basically everybody's just saying how excited they are about the offer you're making and how that's going to help them build their business. I don't see any questions.
I said something kind of really important in that process. Chuck, I hope it didn't go by everybody, but each and every one of you and those that will be listening to this, as you learn how to do this, right? You're going to take a piece of responsibility away from me. You're going to be teaching this. And I'm going to be helping you teach others to do the same.
Yeah, that's huge. That's the key, really. That's what will separate them from anybody in our industry, to have this tool and then to be part of a great opportunity like we have. It's just the perfect combination.
Yes. I appreciate everybody's attention and patience.
All right, well, we'll be back on Thursday night, and we'll reveal the tools and the notes and keep moving the ball forward. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks. Good night, everybody.